So this time we have a few more scripts that we need to fill out, and probably also look at these FSMs if we get time for that. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the scripts here that need to be filled in. I'm also going to open up the other scripts that we'll have to look at as reference to compare them. So, and I'm interested as to why this is not complaining. There we go. Resharper wasn't complaining. Always a bad sign. So we have the animator bool manager, the punch script, and then the pickup script. Just go save all those. And as for reference, what I'm going to look at is probably go with something like the Crab's animator bool manager. And then for the punch, or let's say go with the pickup. For the pickup, let's see. I think for pickup, probably the crab arm item pickup will be a good reference. And then, what was the last one? Punch. So for punch, I'm going to go with the crab punch. Okay, so one of the things we kind of need to do is go in here and look at animators, the animator controller. Because in order to set up the animator bool manager, I need to basically decide how I want to set the animator up and what's going to be a bool and what's going to be a trigger. And this is one of the layers of my crab. And you can see pretty much there's just a blank state and different triggers and stuff. So like if you've been hit, then you know it gets triggered based on been hit. So this has been hit L, and then there's a been hit R over here. At the moment I'm only using been hit L, and that might stay that way. So been hit L is triggered, and then exit time. It just goes back here, unless something else happens, like when you've been hit during it. So basically I've allowed transitions like to and from pretty much everything on here. So let's go ahead and grab the giant clam holder. And I do not have the animator controller applied, so I need to make sure there's an animator controller. Resources, it should be under models, animator controller, giant clam, because I did create it before. And just to make sure it stays there, I'm going to save that and I'm going to apply this as a prefab. So based on how the clam is set up, I think I pretty much only need one layer. It doesn't have eyes, it doesn't have legs. I don't need to set up a an animator mask for the different pieces of it. It's pretty simple because it's just one object. It doesn't need to have like, you know, walking or running animations for the legs, alternating based on the speed of the character and then punching layered on top of it, or anything crazy like that. So what I need to just do, this is the animator, I need to find the model here, and under the giant clam you can see all of these different animations. I'm just going to drag them in. So been hit, chomp, closed, Nash. I'm going to put Nash over with that. Closed, I'm not even sure how much it's going to get used. Grabbed. Idle I'll kind of put over here. Item, once it becomes an item, it'll stay an item. See, lick loop, lick spin, and projectile walk, walk punch, projectile. And I can be picky and organize these better. So let's see, been hit. What do I really want the base state to be if nothing is happening? Idle. Idle is probably a good base state. I'm going to set that as the default. And I'm just going to put that over here. So idle to walk, spin, everything. I'm just being picky about my arrangement now. Because it can get pretty ugly once you get all the stuff going through. Just like it was getting kind of ugly on the third layer of the crab. Alright. So now I need to add some parameters, and I need to decide basically what should be a trigger, what should be a bool, and what the name should be. So something like the lick spin, it could be a. Let me go check my crab here. Oop, I need to select the crab below it. Alright, layer 2 has the atom stance stuff, layer 3. Alright, so I have crab spin attack Y, and then I also have spin attack Y bool. So one of them is a trigger, one of them is a bool. The difference being that the trigger gets consumed once it's triggered and then exits. The bool is something that I can set and enable and disable on my own for however long I want it to be on. So that's the same way I'm going to set it up with my Clam. So I'll do a trigger spin attack Y. Spin attack Y. And then I'm going to add a bool, which will just be this bool. Let me go ahead and make this. That's probably, so that's about as big as we're going to get. Alright, been hit. That will be a trigger. Been hit. Let's see. Chomp. Chomp will be a trigger. And then Nash. I don't know. Should Nash be a trigger? Yes, Nash will be a trigger. Nash. Lick loop will definitely be a bool. Lick loop. And I guess I'll call it bool just to differentiate it. So the lick spin is already dealt with. But I think I need to do a copy paste and have a lick spin bool. And yay, that completely throws off my pretty organized circular thing here. Okay, so lick spin projectile. For spitting a projectile, that's going to be a trigger. Projectile closed. If I use it or not, I don't know if I'm going to use it, but it would need to be a. It would need to be a bool, and I'm not sure what I just clicked. Bool. Closed. Idle. Idle should be a bool. Shouldn't it? Yes. idle will be a bool. Walk will be a bool. Punch will be a trigger. Let me just make sure it's a trigger. Okay. I wish it was a display here that, some way of indicating whether it's a bool or a trigger other than the text that pops up initially, so that later on, looking back at it at a glance, you would know. So now I need to hook these up. And let's see. So idle is going to be the default state. And I guess I'll just move this any state over, because it doesn't need to be here. Okay. So idle from bin hit and then back. Closed. I'm not sure that I'm going to be using it. Item. Once, let me just put this in the center. So item, once something goes into item, it's basically stuck as an item. I don't want it to be able to come out of item. Projectile. I would just want it to become an item. And the only way that this should really work is if you've been hit. Alright, so item, nothing comes out of item. Chomp should be able to go to bin hit, and then bin hit should go to chomp. Kind of thinking about this a bit here. So with the crab, so if I look at something like bin hit here, it is pretty much attached to everything, but these don't include things like walking or running, which is the base layer does. So it's just a little bit of a different setup, and I'm kind of having to think about it as I go along. So idle to walk, walk to idle. I guess walk should go to closed, because I don't really know what I'm going to use closed for at the moment. And it really might be that pretty much everything now needs to go to everything. Which is kind of annoying to set up, but it's also quick enough. It'll just be a lot of clicking. So chomp. Now idle. It shouldn't go from idle to these different attacks. Oh wow, it allowed me to make another transition. Yeah, I guess it would. And yeah, I guess you could go from idle to, or from these other things to idle, because idle is going to be whenever the player is not within an attack distance. But this is just going to get really crazy. Really crazy with all the crossing going on. So let's see. Should Nash, Chomp should be able to go to Nash. Nash should be able to go to Chomp. Chomp. I'm starting to think that this is not what I want to do. Go look at the crab again. Crab jump goes to everything. above attack can only go to hit. Yeah, I think I need to think about this a little more. So freestyle can go to been hit and go to grabbed, and jump can go to it. Yeah, so I'm not really thinking about this enough. I'm going to I'm just going to remove this stuff. Yes. Remove them. I wasn't thinking about it enough. Basically, I need to think about which ones need to go with which ones, and I hadn't been doing it. And let's just do this. Actually, I need to look spin. Oh, okay, copy, paste. And I need to look spin bool. Okay, so idle will be our default. Now let's see. When idling, we should be able to become an item. We should be able to be hit. We should be able to be grabbed. Should be able to attack and punch. Basically go from idle into any state, because it's really going to depend on where the player is. Okay, so if we are grabbed, we should be able to go into a hit state, and that's pretty much all. So if we have been hit, let me check and see what the crab does when it's been hit. It can, so that's in, it can go to the default state pretty much, or the grabbed state. Otherwise, that's it. It just goes to the... So the difference though is that I'm combining all three of these layers basically into one layer, which is where it's getting a little complicated, a little confusing to do that way. So everything can go into being hit, and being hit just goes into the default state. Okay, so closed can go to hit, Nash can go to hit, punch can go to hit, and all this stuff. You can be hit at any time. Unless you're an item. Item cannot go to been hit. I'm also kind of curious to look at the spin Y bool. Yep, can also not go to hit, because that's basically the angry animation. That's what happens when it gets angry. So spin Y bool. Projectile goes to hit, spin Y bool will not go to hit. Lick spin can go to hit, lick loop can, idle, grabbed, chomp can go to hit. Okay, now we have all those. See if I can get a little room. Nope, I'm stuck. So item, we can go from idle to item. We can go from grabbed. Grabbed to item. Probably not. We can go from being hit to being an item. Or idle. Maybe walk. Yeah, so if it's been hit, we can go to item if it's been walk, because the default state, and I'm doing this wrong. I know I'm doing it wrong. Whenever something just doesn't feel right, I know I'm doing it wrong. So I think I might actually need to have some, yeah, I need to think about this a little bit more before I try and do it. The problem is the idle and walk are basically I need to choose between one of them as a default state instead of assuming that one of them is a default state. So that's why I'm getting kind of confused. As to which one I want to do, because you should be able to go. I'm floundering. Should be able to go. Let me think. Default state. Because let's say we have a projectile shooting character. It's never going to be walking if it's just sitting there spitting projectiles. So it would just be an idle. It would be an idle and then it would spit a projectile. But I don't want to automatically assume that it's going to idle. So I guess what I'm saying is that while idle needs to be able to go to everything, walk probably needs to go to everything, and everything needs to be able to go to walk. Lick loop. I already got one for item. Let's see, I don't have one for grabbed. Don't have one for chomp. Okay. And I've accidentally doubled that one up. Alright, so walk can now go to everything. And idle can go to everything. So now everything other than item needs to be able to go to idle. And everything other than item needs to be able to go to walk. Alright, so grabbed should be able to go to idle. Chomp can go to idle. Been hit can go to idle. Closed, idle. Punch, go to idle. Walk, go to idle. Projectile can go to idle. Like spin can go to idle. Like loop can go to idle. Okay. I really wish I had more space on here. Let me just pop this out. There we go, this will help. So 3 over there, 3 over there, 3 over here. I just want to get some space through here to be able to see what I'm doing. And I need to have more stuff out here, out here. There we are. Okay, now I can see a little better. But walk, I'm going to move walk over here so it's directly across from there. So everything needs to be able to go to walk now, other than item. Once it's an item, we can't walk. Idle goes to walk. Item. I don't want item. That's what I just said. Like loop lick spin, spin bool, projectile, and punch. Okay, so 3, 3, 4, 3. I guess that's fine. Just organize it a little better as well. I guess these need to be kind of more up here. And that could be more there. Alright, so let's see. I've got idle handled, I've got walk handled. Nash can go to either of those or hit. Close can go to either of those or hit. So now I think, hit can go to item. I think that pretty much anything else, lick spin bool cannot go to hit. It can also not go to item. I think most anything else should probably be able to go to item. So right now we have hit, we have walk, we have idle. If you're grabbed, no, you shouldn't be able to go to an item. If you're chomping, you should at least have to be hit and then maybe go back into an idle or a walk. So actually I think it's probably good now. Probably don't need anything else other than this. So let me pop this back in so that we can see the inspector. And let's say idle. Idle is a bool. So anything going into idle is going to need to use, just say idle is true. Idle is true. Idle is true. It's coming in. We'll do idle is true here. And I know this is tedious, but you only have to do it once. Once you get it set up, you don't have to do it anymore. Idle, idle, idle. And yep, that's going into there. So idle, idle. More idling. Flip shock. Why not use any state? Yeah. Hopefully I answered that one. I wish there was a timestamp on there, but yeah, I've just doing this on the fly. I've kind of had to sit here and think about how to arrange it, and kind of confused myself there for a little while. But I think it's right now. I think now it's going the right direction. So now anything going into walk is going to be the same thing. Walk is a bool, so it would need to be true. This will need to be true. And the funny thing is, when I was thinking about what I was going to be working on tonight, this was actually not on it. I kind of looked at some of the scripts and thought, I need to go work and put this code in and do this and that. Sitting here setting this up was not on the list. But I kind of need it to be here in order to deal with the others. So punch, punch. And then what do we have going down here? Projectile. Hello, radio, TV, whatever. Projectile. Things should get more interesting once I get past this point. Lick spin bool. Spin attack Y. Lick spin. Attack Y, so this is the bool, and then this is the trigger. Okay, so lick loop is going to be a bool. True. Item. Item. I have not set up an item. I need to go ahead and set up an item bool. Bool item. Go right ahead. Let's see, item. And this one will need to be an item. And that one will need to be item. Now I'm curious if I know radio, TV, whatever. I don't recognize the name though. Okay, punch, and that was over to lick loop, that was over to item. Then going into idle, we have idle is true. Going into grabbed, we will have grabbed. I have not set up grabbed either. That's nice. No, I haven't set it up. So that's going to be a bool as well. Grabbed. Grabbed, 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 grabbed. Chomp. Chomp is a... yeah, is a trigger. So been hit should be a trigger. Yep. And closed, do I even have closed? I probably haven't put closed in here because I wasn't sure if I'm even going to use the state. Which I assume if I am going to use it, it would need to be a bool. Closed 0. No. Why did it do that? I guess I do have it on. Yep, okay, I do have it. I was just being blind. Let's see, closed. There we are, and closed is a bool. And so we've got walk, everything going there. The lick spin attack Y. So let's see. It looks like we might. I guess I'm not done with this. I was hoping I was done with this. So lick loop. Let's see. Lick loop. Lick loop. That's a boolean. This is going to be lick spin. That would be a trigger. Yes. Spin attack Y trigger. And then the spin bool will be the spin attack Y bool. Projectile. Punch. Let's see. So this one goes into Nash. And this one goes into closed. You can kind of see the animations in the bottom right with the you can see the preview of the animations over here. And that's not the closed animation, but see, been hit. Been hit. Uh-oh. I thought I updated my... Does my channel read Unreal Tournament, or does it read Clam game development stuff? Okay, cool. On my screen it's reading Unreal Tournament. I was like, people come in here thinking I'm playing Unreal Tournament, they're gonna be disappointed. Chomp, grabbed, 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 grabbed. Let's see, been hit, Nash. Okay, so I think now everything going into been hit needs to be set up, which should be easy enough. Been hit, this going into been hit, and that one's already done. This one will do been hit. Been hit. Been hit. I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna go through and check every single one of these to make sure that every single one of them is set while on camera. I just need to get through this so that I can move on. Been hit. Chomp idle. Okay. Lick loop, walk, been hit, lick loop, bool, idle. Alright, so now I'm fairly confident that these should be set up correctly. So I can save this and finally move out of there. Alright. What I want to look at now is the animator bool manager. So the easiest thing to do would be to go to something like the crab animator bool manager and look at how I set up things here. So where is my giant clam animator bool manager and the crab, and I'll just do this crab, and really I can just drag all the crab stuff to the left so that I can compare and work with stuff. So the bool managers are here, and in start, set animate, set the layer weight for the animator. I don't even have an animator yet on this one, so I need to go ahead and add that, which tells me then that I need to have the clam setup script as well. Okay, why are you not allowing me to select that? Doesn't matter. Setup, clam setup. So I need to have a reference to the giant clam animator bool manager, and I believe that should already be set up here. So it's not being used. I get the component, but I don't use it yet. Here is where I find the animator, so I want to mess around with the bool manager after I have found the animator, so I can set the animator variable to the one I've already got. Alright, so now I can talk to the animator. And I'm going to go ahead and set layer 1 to weight, to full weight, which, let me check real quick here. So you see here I have layer 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the crab, but if I look at the crab, let's see, I should, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the base layer is always going to be at 100% weight. So I shouldn't actually need to do anything here in start. Now I have things like here, the methods here basically make sure that I'm not currently in the state I'm trying to set, because you get a lot of bad problems if you go and set a trigger for doing something when you're already in that state. The moment you exit that state, because you set the trigger, it's going to be consumed again and you'll be thrown back into the same state, and it's just really bad. So pretty much anything, any of these, so like my walk here, I would need to, let's see, grab my giant clam, and you see I have a walk. So I would need to do a very similar method to this. And I don't think I need start here at all, so I'll remove it. So get the current animator state info.name hash and see if that is equal to walk. The base layer dot walk. And if it's not equal to it, I want to set the trigger walk. So go over here and I have a trigger right here named walk, and that's all I need to do. So freak out is a crab specific thing, pinching crab specific thing, not something I need. And you'll see that all of these are setting triggers. None of these are setting booleans, and that's because and I actually don't even have any old code in here setting booleans, because the only time I set booleans is in something like a crab punch, where I do an animator, the animator component set bool for something like swimming freestyle during a jump attack forward coroutine. And so at the end of this, I go and set the bool to false. So during those sorts of things are the only times those bools get used. So what I want to do is decide, so I should have some like spin attack, like a spin attack Y in here. And the crab has eyes, so it sets squinty eyes and stuff like that. My Clam character does not have eyes, so I'm not going to need to set them. And spin attack Y, let's see, is that the name that I named it? Spin attack Y, yep. It's good to keep consistent naming, but this is going to also be the base layer dot, it should just be spin attack Y, because I didn't name these like Clam spin attack Y or anything like I did on the crab, and it doesn't really matter. So let's see, and actually I want to check for lick spin. I don't want to check for spin attack Y, I want to check for lick spin. So it would have been good if I'd kept the names consistent, but I've been doing this character all on camera and just kind of plowing through it. So there are little nuances like that that I kind of overlooked. Now I'm wondering if I should make a something to do like an animator set bool for. I could call this something like spin attack Y bool, and just turn this bool on, or bool T for true. So I'll do a set bool, and it'll be the spin attack Y, or let's see here. I haven't used set bool in a while, so I can either use the name and the value. So this should be spin attack Y bool, and then I should say true, and that should fix that. And this should be lick spin Y bool, I think. Yep. So the reason I have two different lick spins is that one of them is meant to be triggered as a one-off attack, and then the other one is meant to be triggered as a constant attack that I can enable and disable when I want to. So then I'll just create another method here for the lick spin bool being false. And here I don't need to check to see what state I'm in, because I'm just going to be setting the bool to false. Alright, so I have the lick attack bool F, spin attack bool F. Let's see, what else do we need to do? Quite a lot of stuff. Projectile, the lick loop, that's going to be a bool. So we have lick loop is the name of the state, and lick loop bool is the name of the bool. So I'm just going to add that. Let's see. Well, I can probably just copy and paste this and say lick loop, and I could just not have methods for these and just set them like I am in the crab punch. I'm just manually setting in the animator set bool, but I think having it as a method will be more useful, at least for the Clam. So lick spin bool false, and I want to be setting the lick loop bool. Easy enough. Lick loop bool, and I can just remove bool. Okay. So I've got the lick loop. Item is also a bool. Item I never want to be able to be false. So I'll just go down here and say item bool true. And this should just be item, and this should also be item. Let's go ahead and check that. Yep, item and item. Good enough. So idle. Idle is a bool, idle is the name of the state, and idle is the name of the bool. So let's see. Lick loop bool, true and false. And I'll just come in here and say idle. Now, one of the things that just occurred to me is that I should really go in. Anytime I set the idle bool to true, I should probably set the other bool to false. The walk bool. I should set the walk bool to false. Let's see. Idle. Call this idle. Lick loop bool is true. It's going to be the idle bool. Yeah, so what I'm thinking is basically I don't want it to have confusion as to which boolean it should be using. If both of them become enabled, I don't want it to be confused as to whether it should be idling or walking. So right here I have walk, and all I do is set trigger. And is walk a trigger? I thought walk would be a boolean. Idle is not a trigger, and neither is walk. So walk is a boolean. Okay, so what I need is basically the same true-false sort of setup here that I have going on. I'll use that for walk. Walk bool is true. Walk bool will be false. And I'm going to just do some copy and paste. So now when walk bool, if I'm not in this state and the bool gets set to true, then I also want to call idle bool false. And then if the idle, where's idle? If idle bool becomes true, I want to say walk bool false. And then that should ensure that only ever one of them is active, and that should be good. So let's go have a look and see what else we have. Punch and projectile. Let's go see about those. Have I done punch? And have I done projectile? Nope. And those will be triggers. They're not going to be bools. So I'm going to just grab like this trigger here. So this will be I think I should just call this punch. Easy enough. Call this one projectile. And let me check the names. Punch, punch, projectile, and projectile. So it's all, oops, easily done there. Just a bit of copy and paste, and do this. So that gives me methods for punch and projectile. I've got those, I've got the lick loop, I've got item, I've got idle. I don't have grabbed. So let's do, let me see, grabbed and grabbed. It's all the same. So grabbed is going to be another one of these true-false ones. Grabbed, bool true, and false. So use grabbed, and all of that to false. And I don't want to carry that around. And really, so item when idle. Now I also want to say when item becomes true, I should probably say that the walk bool becomes false and that the what was the other one? The idle bool becomes false, just to make sure there's no confusion, you know, because one bool will override everything. So I have chomp. Let's see, closed is, closed is a bool. Nash, been hit, chomped. Let's see, closed, closed, been hit, chomp, chomp, nash, nash. So everything's raised or named the same. So do I have closed in here? I don't think I have closed. Nope, I don't. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and make closed one of the sort of true false ones. I'm not sure that I'll ever need to use it, but I might as well have it set up. So this closed, closed, and closed. So then I need Nash, which is going to be a trigger. Nash. And that'll be easy enough. Nash. What else did we have? Chomp and been hit. And that should have all of them. Public. Oh, there's no point in copying and paste is easier. Been hit. And chomp, I think, was the last one. Okay. So we're finally past the animator bool manager, I believe. Let me go check and look at this one. So I've got things like jumping. Jumping, my character, let's see, jump is going to have to be handled some other way. I do want this character to jump for certain attacks, but he doesn't have a specific jump animation. And that can all be handled just with a script. I don't think I need that sort of thing to be going on for an animation for setting the trigger for jumping. He doesn't have eyes, I don't need to worry about that. The different below attack, spin attacks, all that, I've pretty much already have. So that should be good with that script then. So set up this, the pickup, and giant clam punch. So I haven't really gotten as far as I was wanting to today. This was all a bit more tedious setup than I was expecting. I thought I'd at least get through the pickup. I'm just trying to wondering whether I should stop or not, and I think I am going to go ahead and stop. So I guess thanks for watching, and tomorrow will be more code. Should be able to get the clam pickup and the clam punch. Because I don't have to do any more of the annoying animator, like, tedious setup stuff. So, yeah, hopefully tomorrow, and if I can get those two done tomorrow, then I can do the FSMs, probably gut the FSMs and rework them a little bit the day after, and then hopefully be having a clam character in the game playing. So, thanks for watching and good night.